Start by talking about the rehabilitation, Bureau of Rehabilitation Bill, which the government is bringing, because I have never seen such a bill or I have never seen such a law in this country ever before. Soon after the World War II, several countries, including Sri Lanka, being horrendously shocked by the atrocities which were committed by the Nazis, pledged and promised and declared in the Universal Declaration for Human Rights that they would respect and under no circumstances certain human rights can be removed or can be denied to human beings. Several countries, including Sri Lanka, promised this. This was in 1948 onwards, and then in 1978 we brought several of these human rights, including the right not to be tortured, the right, the freedom of thought, conscience and religion, the right not to be tortured, the right not to be arbitrarily denied of our liberty. All of this was brought into our fundamental rights chapter. Today, after nearly 4 decades, Ranil Wickremesinghe government, backed by the Rajapaksas, has brought this Bureau for Rehabilitation Bill. Now, I want everyone to take this very seriously and read this carefully, because in the Bureau for Rehabilitation, the government does not need your consent to put you into rehabilitation. It does not need a court order to put you into rehabilitation. Once you go into the rehabilitation camp, forced labor can be extracted from you. You can be tortured, you can be ill-treated, you can be wounded, you can be neglected in this camp. You can be force-fed with dangerous narcotics. And if you try to protect yourself from abuse, that is an offense. You can't protect yourself from abuse in this bureau. If you try to escape from this bureau, then the military and the police can come and drag you back into the bureau. If you try to disobey any orders in this bureau, that also, they can compel you to obey these orders by force. That is what this bill says. And I'm not exaggerating one bit. So, as citizens of this country, the bill says, yes, it is for ex-combatants, yes, it is for members of violent and extremist groups or whatever, but it also says it's for other groups. So, as citizens of this country, you can ask yourself whether you want to live in a country where the government can drag you into camps simply because you dissent against the opinions of the government and torture you into submission. You can decide that. And if you think that is not the country you want to live in, then you pressure the 225 people sitting in parliament to not pass this bill. I also want to highlight that it is 50 days since the arrest of Wasantha and Siridhamma. And for 50 days, these 3 boys have been kept in isolation, in dark cells, under horrendous conditions. And few days ago, a responsible member of the parliament went in parliament and said that wasantha mudalige is being taken around in the night and he could be killed. Now imagine if Wasantha's parents and Wasantha's brother is watching this. Who is answerable to what the mother is listening when a parliamentary member says, when a member of parliament says he could be killed? So not only are these irresponsible statements, but also we have allowed boys who led the struggle, who gave us courage to hope for a better future, to remain in these dark and isolated cells, and for the state to call them terrorists. And it is on our conscience that we have allowed this to happen for 50 days. So I will also allow you to decide for yourself whether you're okay with 3 boys who have led this Aragalia to be called terrorists and to be detained and tortured in dark cells until today. Thank you.